Welcome, animals, to another episode of the Interview of Agu. This is just a reminder, if you want to be on the podcast, all are invited and all are welcome. Just reach out to me on any of my platforms or fill in the form in the description below. But with that, let's turn to today's candidate. He's a man of many accomplishments. He has a postgraduate degree in sports sciences from the University of Pretoria, currently working as a qualified biokineticist. He is a former University of Pretoria first-team cricket player, has a sub-3-hour marathon, has completed a comrades. He is a burnt athlete and the founder of the Running to Coffee Pretoria, Running to Coffee Joburg, Running to Coffee Stellenbosch, and Running to Coffee Cape Town run clubs. He has many nicknames: Koovers, Big Dog, and his most well-known nickname, the Coffee Run Guy. But I know him as the guy from my first year corridor. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Amish Kooverjee.
Oh, no one's gonna clap. Oh, cool. Thanks, bro. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
No, I'm super happy to have you too, bro. I wanted to start off this episode and kind of just give you some flowers while you're here. Because before you, well, maybe not say before you, before COVID, run clubs weren't really a thing.
Yeah.
No one really knew about them. Like, you had some old toppies in the 40s and stuff doing it every now and then, but it wasn't this big staple thing. And the first person I knew to like actually start one was you. And like, it just started as you and a couple guys from university doing it. And now across your 4 run clubs, 15,000 followers. And if I had to estimate, probably responsible for at least 20 relationships.
Yeah.
When you started this run club, did you ever think it was going to become this? Or were you just like enjoying some time with people? And was there like a moment where you can rewind to and kind of think back and go, this is the moment where I realized this is going to be something big?
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually crazy to think about. And I think, to start off with, like, running wasn't actually really part of my life. And I think that's when, during COVID, like you said, like, I started to run because I was the only thing you could really do. I played cricket at the time. And then after COVID, I kind of put like a pause and stopped to my cricketing career. Like, I stopped playing cricket and like I found like an escape with the running, where like every minute or like every session that you put in, like, you get something out. And I wasn't really getting that same reward from cricket. And that's why like the running was like a really big thing for me. And I carried on with the running. And after that, I think there was an element missing. Like, like running is pretty much like an individual sport. Like, you do everything alone. But I think that's also like an old way of thinking. Like, running is like very much like an individual. You have to do it alone. And I think that's where like I found like a mismatch where like I felt really lonely. I'm a very sociable guy. Like, I love being with people. Chatting to people and like being surrounded by people. So like running, as nice as it was, I was missing that like people aspect. And that's when like I reached out. I was like, geez, I'm not seeing my cricket mates like every like 2-3 times during the week outside of obviously varsity. I was like, nah, guys, like, let's go pull up, have like a run and catch up for the week, And that's what we did. And before you knew it, we like started a WhatsApp group, started an Instagram page, and it was basically just a thing of, like when we're old and have kids one day, to look back and be like, yo, remember when we used to do those runs and like grab a coffee? And that's basically how it kind of started. And literally now we're sitting here 5 years later, and it's probably one of the biggest running clubs in the country. Yeah.
And you're going to keep on doing it, and instead of showing your kids, you're just getting invited.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that's crazy. I mean, you talk about relationships, and it's not only like love relationships when it comes to, like people that have gotten together because of the run club or broken up because of the run club or whatever. Like, I think it's also a networking thing. Like, so many people, especially us, like young working class or at that stage, like varsity students, it's such an organic way to meet people either within your industry or people like outside of your industry that you'd never thought you'd meet. It's to the point where like you get to a point where you're like, yo, like, I'm looking for an apartment, and you're like, oh snap, I met a guy the other day at the run club that's in real estate. And it's become like that. And I think that's quite exciting, and it's also scary at the same time. Like, you meet a lot of people, and it's quite cool to see how organic it is, because it's not as like I guess it's not, maybe some people will argue, but I guess it's a lot less or maybe more daunting than like meeting a person in like a club setting, I guess.
It's a lot less daunting. You can actually hear them.
Yeah, 100%. You don't have to shout at them over the music.
No, I'm actually going to tell you a cool story. So I think it was my last year in Pretoria. We had that one dating social run that you
the
did.
theme, yeah.
and Dom and I, Dominic Casey,
Casey, yeah.
we went both single at the time, both partook in it. I think like the color scheme was something like white if you're single, black if you're taken, red if it's complicated.
Complicated, yeah, something like that, yeah.
And Dom didn't know that black was taken. He thought it's like red is taken. And he was kind of weird. Like I don't know if you noticed, but after every run, he had like a can of deodorant in the car and an extra t-shirt to change into.
Yeah, nice.
And he changed into a black t-shirt. And we just kind of like started joshing with him, like, no, he found love on the run and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
One of the girls he met that night is now his fiance.
Yeah.
And they're getting engaged soon. So you're
crazy.
The success rate.
Where's actually, Dom, if you're listening, where's my invite, bro? What the hell? No, I'm kidding. Nah, it's awesome. And I think that's not only the only relationship that's formed out of it.
Hundreds, yeah.
I think outside of that, it's also just your people have also discovered something completely different. Like I know in Pretoria currently, there's like a group of people that probably would have never met if it wasn't for the Run Club, and they become like the best of mates. I've met people like business partners, clients, friends, best mates, like just because of the Run Club, and gotten opportunities to work with brands like you mentioned.
I want to talk a little bit about the business partners part of it, because you don't pay anybody anything, and you're somehow keeping this going in 4 different locations. Some of them run by people you didn't know previously, some currently run with people that you didn't know before the time. How do you kind of just keep it all together? How do people keep coming back just purely based on vibes?
Yeah, that's purely based on vibes is very accurate way of putting it. I think it stems back to when I first started it, and I think people also saw the amount of effort and love like I put into it for myself. Like when I first started it, of course I didn't imagine it to get to the point where it is now. But I think for me as well, I put a lot of effort into it. Like it was basically like my job. I was a student at the time. I didn't have money to spend on a run club or anything. Like I just saw an opportunity to get people together, get runs going, keep people active after a really hard time in our lives, which was COVID, and get people to meet other people. And it all stemmed back to one thing, which was like-minded individuals. And I think that's where like I met people like your Paul and your Ish, and like the guys that are helping me run this thing now, and like a guy like Liam as an example. It's now become like a thing where these people that are involved share that same passion, because they were basically with me from day one, and they saw like I would be the person that would make the poster, post it, take the photos, post it, make a video straight afterwards, post it, and like check in, make sure everyone got around safely. And I didn't have a team initially, it was just me. And then it grew to a point where I was like, shit, like I can't do this myself. And I got people involved, like, hey, got my mates involved, like, hey, please will you help me at the run? Please will you just help me? This is my plan. And I had no experience of running a run club either. And I think that just grew, and then people started putting their hands up, and like Paul was one of the first people to be like, hey dude, listen, like I have this camera, would you be keen if I shoot photos? And that changed the whole dynamic of the run club, because now people are like, oh, we want photos afterwards, like this is so cool. I think
half the people show up for the photos.
100%.
Liam's photography page is just Tinder bios for people.
And that's the thing, is like now Liam, as an example, like he eventually down the line, like he was the one taking photos, and he's probably gotten so many like referrals and opportunities through his photography because of this, because his work is displayed through our running page, and now people obviously see him on the run, and now they're like, yo, I have a 21st birthday coming up and I want a photographer. Hey Liam, how's it going? Like, because they know him through, and this is what I'm trying to say. It's like we're creating the biggest, like we're creating side hustles from a side hustle. And I think that's where like people aren't doing this or trying to be a part of this community because they want to get paid a salary. Like they're doing it because they're passionate about it. They love being a part of the community, and you know, that's what it was built on. It was built on community and the love of running and people. And that's why the people associated are like that. Do you
ever think about like the future of scaling it and stuff? Because obviously now we're basically every major city in South Africa except for Durban, if you count that as a major city or not.
I guess it's major. It's pretty major.
It's all right. It's not Cape Town. But do you ever think of like plans to expand this, go international? You know, there's plenty of Sapphirs overseas. No, I think it's of course in like, you know, I have a
the moment we have like a periodic call with like myself and Paul and Ishan, and like we discuss obviously things currently. We actually had a call last night as an example to like discuss the year ahead, how we want to run all 4 locations, who we're going to be putting in charge, how we are not taking a step back, but taking a step back from daily operations and empowering other people to do that. Because I think we were too involved in daily operations where we couldn't focus on, like you said, like what about expanding to an overseas location, or how do we look at getting a new location involved, or
brand
deals or other projects, like the bigger type of things. Like we want to shift our focus to that, and the daily operations are more the people that are on the ground. So that's kind of like where we're going at the moment. And yeah, I think it's scary. I think that's the thing is, like I've also seen like a lot of videos and things come up of people that are doing run clubs overseas and abroad that quit their full-time job and went full on into this run club thing, and it's obviously been a success for them.
Yeah.
And I've
People
obviously
here as well, like you can think of Wade and Grace running late.
Running late. No, and it's amazing. And I'm thinking, what if I did give this thing a full go and like invested all my time and effort into this running club thing? But then again, I'm also like, damn, I'm 25.
Yeah.
But then I'm also like, damn, I'm 25. So it's a catch-22, I think. And I think not a lot of people that run clubs currently, or social run clubs currently, can say that they're 25 years old and that, well, when I started, I was 21.
Right.
And to say that they started a run club that they did when they were 21. And I think that for me, it's scary. Like this is my first proper like full-time job that I'm working currently. And like, I mean, I'm loving it. And it's kind of aligned within that. Like I'm a biokineticist, I'm working in the sporting industry.
Yeah.
And now it's like, how do I make ends meet with, how do I align what I'm doing with the run club to expand it, to go global, you know?
Yeah, it's funny. You could say that you're kind of acquiring clients, push them too hard on the run.
Yeah, no, I'll never do that, allegedly.
But I did want to ask you, because that is something I've been wondering, your job is adjacent to your passion, and there's a bit of debate on whether or not you should turn your passion into a job. Some people are like, love what you do, love your work, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah, 100%.
Other people talk about how it zaps the joy away from it, and then you stop loving it as much. Because all of a sudden it doesn't become, it goes
escape.
Yeah, it goes from, I'm gonna go run today because I'm feeling like I want to spend time with people, blah blah. Eventually it turns into, oh man, I have to go run today.
Yeah.
I'm running things. I can't take a day off, and that kind of is a difficult one to balance. And the thing is, you could probably, if you pushed it, get some brand deals, get sponsored. I mean, I think Rachel is her name, has recently done it, and she basically lives off of that. So it's definitely an option for you. But do you weigh out that idea of, what if this becomes my whole life, and then at some point I stop loving it?
Yeah, I think that's the scary part of doing stuff like this. I mean, like I'm sure, like like I do my own content as well and things like that, and like my job as well. It's demanding. Like. Being client facing, it's hard. Like you're giving a lot of energy to other people, and you get to a run club and you're giving a lot of energy to them. And then on social media, like when I go for my runs, like I'm posting, not like I enjoy posting, like it's not like a schlep for me, but I do sometimes struggle with when brands do approach me, as an example too. And if they kind of give me like a set thing of how I should produce content, I do struggle with that. Sometimes, like, because my content is very like natural, like I just say what I say in the moment and I cut it and I post it. Like it's another way of me documenting my training. And like for me, I sometimes sit and scroll back and I'm like, remember when I did this run with this person? It's like almost like a memory capturing thing for me. And I mean, the brand thing is like a big plus, honestly. And I think that's where it becomes like a very fine tuning balance, like how do I balance seeing always people at work, then go to your run and you see people, and then afterwards you want to socialize and it's people again. It's draining.
100%.
And I think that's where, like some people that do the content creation and live with it, like it's passionate, but I know it is tiring. Like you're living your life through a screen. Like you almost forget to basically be in the moment. So it is tough.
There's also that element of you're kind of in the spotlight then, and everything you
do gets judged. 100%. And that's why I think for me, more recently, so that's why I said like taking a step back from daily operations. I think for me it's just a healthier way, because the daily operations I've been involved in now for almost 5 years, and it is tiring. And now being in the spot that I am, it's like I'd rather, if someone else is like their fire is burning for that, they must go and do it. And then I can focus on more the business side and growing the brand, because that's where, I'm not going to lie, that's where my passion is at the moment. And going to the runs for me is basically my escape from my daily living. Like I can just go to a run and just be there and like welcome people and just carry on. But everything else get admin wise, which I've been doing for years, is now sorted out by other people.
Yeah, it's a very interesting article I read. I think it was yesterday or the day before, where the writer basically described the differences between discipline, feel that voice crack. Differences between discipline, motivation, obsession.
Yeah.
And basically discipline is you just do the thing because you have to. There's no emotion attached to it. You just go for the emotions. And then motivation is like, I have incentive to go do it. I want to go do it. It's nice for me. I get a reward from it, And obsession is when you can't imagine yourself not doing the thing. And that's when, you stay up at night thinking about it, or you constantly ruminating about what it could be like. And those are the times where you should go balls to the wall. As soon as you're obsessed with something, don't try and find balance. Burn out as quickly as you can, like work on it 12 hours a day, think about it all the time, chat to people about it. And eventually that obsession is going to fade away, and then just going to turn into discipline.
Yeah.
It's something that's been part of your life for so long that you can just now continue with it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you're saying now, is like you had this obsession for, the running the operations and growing it and maintaining it for a long time. And now that obsession is shifting, and you still have this discipline to keep it going, but you want to really pursue the new obsession you have for branding and marketing.
No, 100%. Yeah, and I think I'm also in like a pretty privileged position to have like so many people around me that I've met and things like that are also passionate, like, or in the same, like we're on the same train, and I think that's exciting, and I think it is a blessing.
Yeah, that's amazing. I do want to scale it back a little bit here, because I remember you from first year.
Yeah,
a very different man to what you are now. And you're always into the fitness thing, obviously, because you played the first team cricket, you studied sports science and so on, but it was never this, And you were also quite a bit of a joller.
Yeah.
Still lingerments of that throughout your personality. But, how does shift happen between, I'm going to be the guy that parties a lot and is, not necessarily not looking after my health, but not emphasizing it, to someone that's now run a comrade, which is one of the highest achievements anyone can have in physical health. What was that shift like for you? Like, why did it happen? And like, can you kind of talk me through what your mind was like at that time?
Yeah, naturally when you go into varsity, like everyone has that phase of their life where they like go party and meet people, and it's like, it's a new era of your life, like you're away from home. And I think that for me, it's exciting. Like, like I think I'm also a guy that when I will put my mind to something, like I'll do it, and I'll do it like 100%. And like at that stage, like I played really hard. I also partied really hard, and I studied really hard at the same time. Like I got through everything. And I think the change kind of came about like, during COVID, like there wasn't really that aspect of it. Like I trained really hard, and I still trained. There wasn't really anything else to do. So I picked up new skills, like practiced my golf, baked, like, did TikTok trends, like, you do all of that stuff during COVID. And when I think COVID just flipped my brain, like, geez, like I got into like this routine, like every day I trained twice a day. Like it wasn't anything hectic, but like I'd just be like, cool, like I have time, so I'm going to wake up, I'm going to train. Afternoon, I'm going to chill, I'm going to eat this, I'm going to go train again, and then go to bed. And I really, like the bug bit, like that endurance sport bug bit me. And even after that, I think it became like unrealistic. Like it was impossible to do that in a normal daily life. And then it gets to a stage where there's a term called burnout. And I'm sure people know about this, like where too much of something, like especially like when it comes to like heavy like load on your body, like your exercise or whatever it is, or you're working too hard, like you experience burnout where it actually affects you like mentally. And I think I got to that where I was like, now that motivation turned into like that like regret, like or like unmotivation or demotivated. Now you're like, shit, now I have to go and train because like I've kept this whole persona. If I don't train, then I'm going to lose my fitness. I'm going to do this. And you kind of go into this downward spiral mentally. And then that's when I found that balance again of being like, you know what, like the sun's going to come up tomorrow, whether I train or not. So, and I'm not going to lose fitness in 2 days time. Like it's okay to take a break and it's okay to let loose. And I think that's where I found like a really nice balance between like, how do I balance, you know, being fit and enjoying life, and also like, you know, not overdoing it. And yeah, there's going to be a weekend or there's going to be a night where you overdo it. And there's going to be a time where you train too hard and you're actually so cooked you can't even go to see your friends socially. And I think you learn that the hard way by actually doing it and experiencing it, where you're like, you know what, now I can go out. But now you're so fried and you go out and you know you're not fun with anyone. So you learn that the hard way by actually doing it. I think I've experienced that so many times that now I actually have found like my limit. And I think a lot of people, it takes them a lot longer to find that limit. But I think the quicker you do, the easier your life becomes, I think.
Yeah, it's very different personality types, right? Because I think some people are probably listening to this and being like, man, I wish I had that bug bite me.
No, 100%.
And you obviously took it to the extreme, but do you think that there's, maybe not specifically in running, but some area of physical fitness where everyone can get, or anybody can get bit by the bug, you know? Because I think a lot of people now want to get fit. You know, a lot of people want to be healthy. I think we put a lot more emphasis on it than previous generations.
100% sure.
But a lot of people just struggle to, like, they don't enjoy the gym, they don't enjoy running. Like, how do they go about finding what's for them? And maybe more importantly, you said the bug eventually bit you. How long did it take before you're like, this is something I want to continue doing? You know, because some people go, they'll try once, twice, 3 times, and they're done. But who knows, like maybe they tried 8, 9, 10, then they would start to feel that passion. So was the passion innate, or did you kind of just make that passion through resilience?
Yeah, I think the passion, I mean, naturally growing up and things, and also like, I mean, I guess the industry that I'm working in and studied, like I always had the knowledge about it. So I kind of, I'm studying this stuff, you know, where to a point where I actually understand like, oh, I knew what the benefit was, you know, without even doing it because I studied this stuff. And that I think it's a bit different for me. And this is why I've gone into the space that I have, where I'm educating those about it. And that's why I want more people to be involved in this, because it's great for you, you know. And I think for me particularly, I think I just saw that progress of like, you know what, like I said, like I put my mind to something and I did it consistently to a point where I was like, yo, I'm actually seeing results. And I think unfortunately that's people's, call it currency, when they put their mind to something in the fitness industries. How do you see results? Because at the end of the day, like, as much as people are like, oh no, I'm not chasing results, or like, oh,
Everyone is.
I don't care about my time. You did. Like, whether it's your time, whether it's how you felt, whether
how you look.
And I think that's where like there's so many different avenues, and the only limiting factor is how far you want to take it, let's be honest. And the only limiting factor is yourself. Like, things I think which is really awesome right now is like there's so many different types of events. I mean, there's high rocks, there's running, there's park runs, there's
Jiu-jitsu's getting huge.
Exactly. It's like I'm just talking about obviously the basic ones, but there's so many different avenues to like. There's orienteering, there's
There's what?
Orienteering. Have you never heard of that? There's like GPS coordinates, and like you read a map and you go find the things in like a park.
Oh, it's like advanced hiking.
Yeah, basically it's an advanced hiking with no like technology basically. But like there's so many different avenues to get fit. Like the other day I was walking in Kilburn Park and I just saw this guy reverse his car into the parking lot, open up his boots, and he just takes out kettlebells, bands, dumbbells, cones. And there was like a full-on like CrossFit session happening at 6 a.m. on a field. And like, there's literally no excuse for someone to like, obviously, given circumstance, obviously, like to wake up and like do a little bit every day. And I think people have now got it a bit misconstrued where they think that a little bit isn't enough. And I think that's where they're like, yo, like I only ran for 20 minutes. And then they go onto Instagram, like, yo, I'm proud of my 20 minutes. Go onto Instagram or social media or Strava. It's like, yo, this person did 20 Ks. I don't want to post my 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's where I think, as much as social media and Strava, I do it, I still do it. But with social media and Strava, as much as it could be such a great thing, it can also be a really like degrading thing as well, because comparison is
The thief of joy.
exactly.
Yeah. No, I have this I don't want to call it argument, this bone to pick with people, because I hate the saying you can become anything you want, or you can become anything you set your mind to. You can't. You know, like I was never, no matter how hard I tried, I was never going to be a world-class ballerina.
Yeah.
I just don't, I have too wide of hips, I got no balance, I got no rhythm. It's not going to happen. The same way I'm not going to be a basketball player. I was born 5'6".
Yeah.
You know, I have luck on that one. I think we tell people you can do anything you set their mind to, and people set their mind to it and they fail, and they're like, I guess it must just be me.
Yeah.
I must be the problem. Whereas I think we should tell people you can do great things. You can't do everything, but you can, whatever you've been blessed with, go find that thing and be great in that.
Yeah.
I think that's a much better mentality to have over the, you can do anything.
Do anything you want. Yeah. Good.
I also find it funny that you refer to results as currency, fitness currency, because that just makes steroids like the tax evasion of the analogy. You talk a lot about like recovery there, and like teaching people about recovery and stuff. And obviously, you're an ultra marathon runner. What's the recovery like for you? Do you do like the whole, those what are those boots called?
The compression boots.
Compression boots and like the ice baths and the infrared. Or do you just like take a chill, smoke a joint? You don't have to admit to smoke a joint, so we're not going to get you in legal trouble. What do you do for recovery?
Yeah, like, I mean, to be honest, like I'm a big fan of like restful hours. So a lot of the time, like my mind's really busy. So like, especially at work, clients, I'm on my feet. I'm doing a lot. Luckily for me, like sometimes even with my clients, I sometimes stretch with them. So like that's quite nice. Like 2-3 times a day, like I get to stretch and foam roll sometimes with them. That's the nature of my job. And then I mean I have tried the ice therapy, like ice bath thing, and the compression boots. For me, I think it's more of like a placebo thing. I'm a big believer in like, you know what, like I'm gonna do it because I think it's gonna help me. I haven't really dived too much into the science behind it, to be honest. But I think my only advice to people is like, don't do it because other people are doing it. Like, do it because it actually makes you feel good. Because it's the same way with like, I have the same strategy for like fueling, like on a race day. Like my fueling strategy isn't going to work for you, isn't going to work for your cat, isn't going to work for your dog that we're running the same 21K. Because my body's going to react different to yours, to your dogs, to your cats. So at the end of the day, like what works for me might not work for you. So we got to figure out what works for you.
Yeah, I remember when I was getting ready for the marathon, and we did those full send runs. For any of you that don't know what full send running is, so basically a run club that does marathon preps, so they'll get together for these long runs. And for like the first 4 out of the 8 weeks, my breakfasts were not really, I had like 2 energy bars, and I just went and did a whole bunch of gels, and it worked out. And I've eventually thought to myself, like, this can't be sustainable. I need to actually get something better. I tried a pack of oats before the run. 5Ks in, I was done. I went home. I couldn't do it. Like that small change just messed me up completely.
And that's the thing, because then people are like, I usually have Cocoa Pops, and I don't usually eat or whatever. But that's because that's worked for them and their body's used to it, So, and I think that's what people need to realize is, as much as like all these people like say like, this is what I eat and this is what I drink, like that's what they do. Like, they're sharing what they do. They're not sharing what, yes, and some tips and tricks will work for everyone 100%, but try it first. Don't go be a hero and try it on race day or event day,
I remember like when I ran my first half marathon, I was surprised by how sore my biceps were from like holding the position. Is it like anything similar to that for like the ultra marathon stuff where like people 100%. Be surprised?
100%. I think when I did Comrades last year, the first muscle that started to cramp was actually my shoulder. Literally, that was my first muscle that started cramping that day because of that running position and holding onto water and my phone and things like that during the day. Like my shoulder was my first muscle to cramp that day. And it's definitely like, I mean, people forget about how much you use your upper body within running and your core, and you have to, at the end of the day, you're holding up your body.
And like your knees and your ankles and your toes.
I've actually been really lucky. I've never actually like broken a toenail while running.
I did it twice last year. Well, not broken, but like, when this underneath the toenail. And like...
I've been touch wood. But, I've never actually broken a toenail or had like any proper like toe problems, which has been really nice. So,
Interesting.
yeah. But my body was just fried after that.
Yeah. How long was the recovery for that like?
So to be honest, so my stomach was cooked during the race. So after like 40
wow.
Ks, I needed to find a bathroom like literally every 2 Ks.
Wow. And you still managed to.
And I ended up finishing. Wasn't the time I wanted, but like my stomach was cramping. So physically, like my legs weren't as sore as they probably would have been if I was able to run. So because I had to like walk around basically. But I think because of the stomach issues, my body was so like dehydrated and like empty. It was so cool but funny to see like people flying home, and they're all like walking, like up and down to like get into the plane and stuff, and people all hobbling along with their medals around their necks. So that was quite cool to see. But
you have a plan on how to avoid that this year, the comrades?
What, like the stomach thing?
Yeah.
And that's where, you get your doing a lot more fueling, like on my long run days, like on the weekends. I don't think I did that often enough last year, where I fueled and where I ate properly. Sorry, long day at work. Where I ate properly, like in my long runs, and then I think it bit me in the butt on race day. Yeah.
I also wanted to chat to you a little bit about like your cricket career.
Yeah.
Because obviously you were quite good. Like, I don't know the extent of it because I don't know cricket all that well. But from my perspective, it seemed like something you were super passionate about, and maybe COVID put a bit of an adjunct into that. But is it something that you want to do professionally someday, or was it just something you kind of just enjoyed and did?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of the people that I grew up with, they know that, like I was quite like very much invested into my cricket. Like I think for me, like I think the hardest thing to do was actually to tell my dad and my mom that I wanted to stop playing cricket. I think they were also really like, they supported me like through that part of my life, like big time. And yeah, like I'm forever grateful for them for that. And I think that was a really hard conversation.
Did you feel like you were disappointing them, or?
Yeah, 100%. I think in the moment, like of course, like it was a really tough thing to think about, because I mean, I'd played like a decent amount after school. Like I played basically for 3.5, 4 years. And I think cricket was just eating me up inside. Like I lost the love for it, lost the enjoyment of it. Like I went through a really tough time where I wasn't doing well. Like I said, as much as like I don't want to look at results, like my results weren't doing great. And I look back, and obviously like now being 25, I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have stopped, and maybe I was being soft, But then again, I look back and I'm like, maybe all of this wouldn't have come about if I had carried on 100%. As well. So, and I think my parents also see how much passion I share for the running club and what effort I've put in. So they also like, they've also seen that, and obviously it's channeled now into like a different sort of career in the running side. But yeah, the cricket was a tough one. Like I really enjoyed it, and I did want to go professional at the time. Like that's why I went to Tux University. Like I went across there on a bursary and stuff like that. Like I captained some of the teams, and like half of those guys that I played with are now playing in like SA20 and Protea setup, which is amazing. And I'm really happy for them. And I think that's also more so why like I look back and I'm like, and I like now you're watching the games and you're like, damn, I played with that guy.
That could have been me.
That could have been me if I carried on. And but then again, you also like you can't just keep thinking of like what if. Like you're here now, and like you got to move on.
The what if game is always a terrible one for me, because the mentality I try to have is, if you like who you are now, you like that life that you have, you can't have regrets.
Yeah.
Because every step that you took is what got you here. Have you ever seen the movie Whiplash before?
No, I don't think so.
So it's about a similar topic to this, where instead of sports, it's a drummer, and he goes to like the most prestigious school for music in America, called Schaefer. And he gets put into like the orchestra that everyone dreams to be, with the conductor that everyone wants to study under. And he gets there, and this conductor is just bullying the hell out of him, pushing him to his limits, insulting him, called him a pig at some point.
Yeah.
And there's like scenes of him just pushing back against that and working harder, and he's drumming until his hands are covered in blood. He breaks up with a girl in the beginning of the movie saying, I don't have time to focus on you, and you do this. And the moral of the story is like, why are you willing to sacrifice for greatness? And there's a bit of ambiguity in this telling of whether it's a good thing to want this greatness so badly or not. Because at the end of the day, he kept on fighting, and he kept on pushing through all this stuff, which you can see it ate away at him.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realize that the outside's really nice.
Yeah.
We love admiring the Michael Jordans and the Tiger Woods and the Messis, but the inside is really difficult. And I think some of those people, I'm speaking, from outside. Maybe they don't feel this way, but I think some of those people would have been happier if things just came naturally to them. If they didn't have that tick at the back of their head, time to keep going on. So it's interesting. You look back at it and you're like, oh, why have I kept on going? But what if you kept on going and it just kept eating up away at you?
Yeah, and I think and this is where I sit back now and I realize I still have that passion for cricket, but it's in a different avenue. I'm coaching cricket, working in rehab for cricket players and strength and conditioning of cricket players, and I still love watching the game. And I think for me, when I lost that love for actually playing the game, I still have the itch. Sometimes I'll pick up a cricket bat. I'm like,
yeah, still got it.
Still got it. Shadow batting is for me. And the fact that I'm still involved in the cricket and I have so much knowledge that I've gained. And I was talking to my colleague the other day about actually cricket because we coached together, and I was saying it's so weird. I feel like I actually understand and I know more about the game now because I've stepped back from the game and I've actually watched more and learned more about the game without actually being so it being in my face and it happening to me. I've stood back and now I can see the game from an outsider's perspective.
Yeah.
And I feel like I actually understand the game way better. And I think it's hopefully, touch wood, it helps me become a better coach and a better strength and conditioning coach and a better biokineticist for cricketers whenever I'm involved with them down the road. Yeah.
Yeah. Next time you're on the podcast, we'll be talking about Amish, the Proteas head coach.
yeah.
But yeah, I do want to come back to the transition, what it was like to kind of just have that passion, at least at the time, die out.
Yeah.
How hard did that leave you mentally? Because I think a lot of people, especially getting to our age, you realize how much time you spent building a life that you weren't even sure you wanted to live.
Yeah.
How did you kind of process this? And was it just one day you woke up and you were like, it's time to let go? Or was it this long thought process where you did some introspection and so on?
No, 100%. I think it became really tough because now I had to think about am I going to make a career out of cricket or am I going to study my degree? And I think that's where I started to think about it. And, it's I had gotten dropped from teams and it's if I have to make it professionally, I'm not even playing in the first team anymore at varsity because I've been dropped. And I'm first I have to make it back to the first team at varsity. And then after that, do really well there before I get selected provincially again. And then I make it professionally. And then I'm that requires a lot more time and money and effort.
And risk.
And now it's what about my degree? That also requires time. And there's only 24 hours in a day. And I think the big thing came where cricket is a team sport and you have to be at team training, which is certain hours of the day. And it's running and other things. I was I can do whenever I want. If I wake up early, I can get it done and then still do my work and it's on my own accord. And I think that's when I realized I want to prioritize what I want to do on my own accord. And that's where I think, and it didn't happen overnight. It was never a light switch. It happened over a couple of months period. I had conversations with friends, with family, with my coaches, and we eventually came to the decision. And initially, of course, you have this regret. Whenever you make a decision, you think shit, was that the right decision? And then after a while, you start to realize when you don't miss that feeling, and can't even describe that feeling, when you don't miss that feeling that you were feeling, you realize okay,
it was the right choice.
It was the right choice.
Yeah. I think it's super important I think it's super beneficial that you went from one competitive itch to another competitive itch. I think a lot of people leave high school sports or leave varsity sports or even leave high school varsity or whatever thing that they're in, and there's no more competition. Some people go to competitive work environments, but very few, especially in South Africa. I think we don't really have the super toxic kind of, Black Rocks and those kind of businesses. And then they just lose this ability to be competitive in things. I think particularly for men, you have to be competitive in something. It's got to be something that you're I want to get better at this every single day. I want to see progress. I want also, as shallow as it sounds, I want to know I'm better than some people at something, I think that's what a lot of sports is just that to an extreme level. So the fact that you could still find that in something else it's amazing.
Yeah.
There's a section of the podcast that Cam recommended.
Yeah.
So, like I said, in 10 years' time, when you come back on as the head coach of the Proteas,
Yeah.
you're going to be able to look back on this video like you did your runs. So we're going to do a bit of a time capsule.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you some questions, and you're going to tell me right now in this moment, what is your answer to these questions?
Okay.
And 10 years from now, we'll rewatch it, and you can see how much you've changed.
Okay.
So what's more important, genetics or effort?
Ooh, probably effort.
You want to explain?
I feel like at the end of the day, the genetics that you get are the genetics that you get, but you can't. I think effort goes second to none, no matter what genetics or what kind of background and things you come from. Like effort can forever be implemented or given.
Is mental health a byproduct of physical health, or is physical health a byproduct of mental health?
I think physical health's a byproduct of medical health. Oh, medical.
Medical. Probably that as well.
Mental health,
Mental
yeah.
health. So what's your reasoning? Is it just because it's more difficult to get yourself to go and do physical activity?
Yeah, I think if you're physically healthy, like a lot of things come with being physically healthy, is if you are physically healthy, it means a lot of things are right in your life. Like you're prioritizing yourself because you're physically healthy, prioritizing your time because you've made time for it, you're eating healthy. Like there's a lot of like pillars or ingredients to have correct physical health. And as a byproduct, mentally, it means that you're in the right place. I think even if you have good mental health, it doesn't necessarily mean physically you know in the right place. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Okay. What's your current mantra to life? Like, what keeps you going in the morning?
There's this mantra. It's a Japanese thing called Kaizen. So it's not about being invisible. Let me try that again. God, yeah. It's not about being invincible. It's about being unstoppable. And basically, it's about being 1% better every day. And I think that's something like I said earlier, it's like if back in my day, I think I was very much involved about being like in the moment and letting it take over my life. Be like, this is the end of the world. But then the next day, it's like, you know what, the sun still came up today. And I think that's what it's like. It's like, cool. Like if you have made a mistake or something isn't right in your life and you can accept that, then the next day you don't do it again, kind of thing. And now that's already 1% better than you were yesterday.
Who's 5 people you really appreciate in your life right now?
I think definitely my parents, both of them. I appreciate them a lot. Obviously my girlfriend at the moment, she's great. 2 other people that I appreciate.
It's a lot of people to choose from.
Yeah, I mean, of course, like I appreciate my sisters. Like I think they're pretty cool. Like I think I'm a very much like a family person. So I think definitely like the 5 of like my 2 sisters, my mom and dad are like really like up there. I think throughout my life and whatever, like honestly speaking, they're just people that I can always go to when things get bad and worse. And like those are people that not a lot of people can say that they're that close to their family. And I know maybe it sounds cliche that I'm saying like, oh, my 2 sisters are my parents, but I think in all honesty, like throughout the years, like I've probably drifted from them and come back to them and drifted again and then come back, and the coming back each time has been deeper and like more full of love. And I think more recently, and as you grow older, I think especially you realize like, damn, that's what is actually important.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely them. As cliche as it may sound, like I just know that I can go to them. Like I don't think a lot of people can say like that. Oh, I don't have a great relationship with my brother. Or like, I'm close to my dad and my mom, but I can quite easily say like the 4 of them. We're tight-knit. Yeah, very tight-knit family. Yeah.
Okay. 10 years from now, if you're looking back at this and something didn't happen, what would have to happen for you to say that was a failure?
10 years from now, if something were to happen.
Or if something were to not happen. So like you have a dream right now,
Yeah.
it didn't come true. What dream not coming true at this moment would you consider a failure in 10 years from now?
So, that's a good one. I think probably if I didn't open up my own like coffee run clubhouse.
Having a place for everyone to go.
Yeah.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we got the lightning round.
Oh, lightning. Jeez.
You're familiar with how it works?
Yeah, I think so. Also, I'm scared of lightning and thunder, by the way.
Oh, that's... We'll cut that out in post. It's okay. Okay, so can't repeat answers.
Okay.
Can't change an answer after you've given it.
Okay.
Can't elaborate on your answers. Whatever you say here will be solidified into internet history for the rest of eternity. And people will judge you forever here on out. And you got 15 seconds to answer each one. So you got
Okay, cool.
knee-jerk reaction.
Each question is 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No, not 15 seconds for 10 questions.
Oh,
would be mad.
okay.
That would be ridiculous.
Okay, cool.
Okay. What's harder? Sub 18-minute 5K or sub 3-hour marathon?
Sub 3-hour marathon.
What's your proudest achievement?
Ooh, starting the coffee run.
Best South African cricketer of all time?
Ooh, that's a good one. Best South African cricketer of all time. My favorite is Faf du Plessis.
Who's one person, dead or alive, you'd like to share your last meal with?
Ooh. Can I say 2 people?
No, only one.
Ooh. My dad.
Best athlete at the coffee runs outside of yourself?
Outside of myself, damn
Outside
it.
yourself.
No, I'm kidding. Best athlete. Yo, there's so many. Which coffee run?
All 4 of them.
Probably Paul Scruton.
Scruton.
Yeah, Paul's up there. He's up there.
Does true love last forever?
To be determined.
To be determined. Dinner with Sia Kolisi or AB de Villiers?
Ooh. Probably AB de Villiers.
Oh, saying no to the head boy, all
Oh.
people.
He's deputy.
He's
AB
deputy. Funniest comedian alive?
Ooh, Trevor Noah.
No. Last one. Who would you like to see next on the interview of Agu?
Who would I like to see next? I think someone that would be really good is Heinrich Bunzai.
Heinrich Bunzai.
Yeah.
Okay, Heinrich Bunzai, you've been invited onto the podcast. It's up to you to accept or decline. Amish, this has been amazing, bro. Thanks for coming on to this podcast. If people want to keep up with you, where can they do it? Your Instagrams, your pages?
Yeah, they can keep up with me on my Instagram called Keeping Up with Koovers.
Is there a message you want to have for everybody as you go out?
It's been great doing business with you, and wash your hands.
And wash your hands. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support Amish, you can go over to the coffee runs on Monday from Table Mountain, the Thursday runs from Nonnabosch. And tell me again, when do they do the runs from Bootleggers?
Every Friday.
Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all next time.
Cheers.